Want to have your clip featured in the Skyrim Clip of the Week? Simply record the clip on your Xbox and then send it to me via message. My gamertag is iRyanI, that's IRYENI, and then you can message it to me over Xbox and I'll be able to view it. I look forward to seeing the clips that you guys send me. Now moving on to the video. Hey, what's up guys, it's Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of Modded Monday. We're on week number 293 now, guys. I've picked out 5 new mods for you guys to check out and perhaps add them to your load order if you find them interesting. But like always, before we jump into them, I want to remind you guys that I'm partnered with GamerSupps, which in my opinion is the best energy drink on the market, so if that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to check out the link in the description so you can go to their store page, and you can also use the code RTD for a 10% discount on all your purchases. I also want to say, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any brand new mods each and every single week. Now that all that's out of the way, we can jump into this week's mods, and starting us off at our number 5 spot, we have a very silly quest mod for those who are fans of regular show. This is the Muscle Man quest, and the mod page reads, "You know who else likes Skyrim? My mom!" But how to start this quest is, Muscle Man can actually be found inside of the Sleeping Giant Inn in Riverwood, as well as High Five Ghost. Both of them have rented out the night as they are currently on a quest to find and defeat my mom. Well, not my mom, Muscle Man's mom. It gets confusing around these parts. But this is a very silly quest mod developed by a very good friend of mine, and this is a boss battle as well as it comes with rewards at the end of the quest as well. The My Mom boss battle is not a cakewalk either because she's level 75 and isn't afraid to put you into the ground. She wields My Mom's hammer, which can be enchanted, and it's a modified giant's club that does massive damage, so it's great to get your hands on it. On top of that, inside of this cave system that you'll be sent to in this quest, you also find a mini player home that you can use as a secret base or hideout. So all in all, within this mod, you have a brand new quest that takes you on a little bit of a journey to go and find Muscle Man's mom so that you can take over and complete his quest, and also you get the 2 followers, Muscle Man and High Five Ghost, a player home, a new area to explore. This mod has a good amount of content inside of it, and it only comes in at 1.65 megabytes. So if you're putting together a not so serious load order, or maybe you just want to test this out, or you're a fan of regular show and you want to see Love King's take on this quest mod, then the Muscle Man's quest is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out. So go download it and experience this brand new silly quest mod for yourself. Coming in at the number 4 spot this week, we have a very simple edit to the wolves in Skyrim to make them a lot more better looking. This is the Wolves of Skyrim mod, and the mod page reads that this is a visual overhaul of the wolves in Skyrim. Now they're bigger and fluffier. This mod overhauls the vanilla wolves, and they're now bigger, chunkier, and fluffier than ever, and it's heavily inspired by Bears of the North and the True Wolves mod. Now when it comes to animal overhauls in Skyrim, I've used so many in the past and all of them are great. I've used Civis Ron All-in-One, the extended version of Civis Ron, mods like this that just edit one animal. There's a ton of different mods out there and you never really know what you want based on, the load order you're going for. But in my experience, I've noticed that a lot of people are having trouble with the big all-in-ones that completely transform every single animal because maybe it messes up a certain animal or a quest line. Like I know Civis Ron sometimes messes up with Shadowmere during the Dark Brotherhood quest line. That's never something we want in our load orders, so I definitely think for our next load order we're going to try to cram as many all-in-one mods in as possible, but we're definitely going to be testing a lot harder to make sure everything works properly, because that's definitely something I don't want to happen in our next load order there. And I know that I'm getting a little off topic talking about the all-in-one versions of animal mods, and we're really talking about wolves here, but it kind of just goes hand in hand, And with all of the testing that I've done with this mod here, I really like the looks of these wolves. They're really high quality textured compared to the vanilla ones, which were a lot darker, and after using Civis Ron and a bunch of different overhauls, I can't go back to the vanilla wolves. They just don't look right. I'm always going to need a new wolf in Skyrim. So if you're looking for some brand new animal mods and you don't really know where to start, or maybe you just want to download one mod at a time instead of looking for a giant all-in-one mod, then the Wolves of Skyrim is definitely a great place to start, because these have great textures and they fit into the world perfectly, and they definitely look better than the vanilla wolves, and that's definitely why this mod's featured here at a number 4 spot this week. So I'd strongly recommend downloading the Wolves of Skyrim and completely transforming all of the wolves in your next playthrough. Coming in at the number 3 spot this week, we have a brand new beautiful player home that's going to be very familiar because it's an overhaul of a player home that already exists and we know and love. This is Raven's Breezehome. And the mod page reads that this is a port of my favorite Breezehome overhaul mod ever, Raven's Breezehome. It's important to know that before you even enter this house at all, you're going to need a new save game, so it's best to not play with this mod at all until you start a new playthrough. But moving on to the actual house, the layout for the house, as you'll notice, is clearly based on the vanilla Breezehome, as well as Eleonora and Goat K's Breezehome, and they took the idea of the tower from there, plus they added 2 other rooms in the back. The house itself looks just glorious now. It's unique in every way, and they spent hours and hours working on the custom shelves and etc., and it features tons of storage, beds for kids, housecarl beds, and lots of books too. Like, really a lot of books. You don't actually need any upgrades for this home. Almost everything is included from the beginning. The only thing that you'll need to buy is the kids' room, because if you don't buy it, there'll be no option to have the children in Breezehome. You also have a retextured exterior for the Breezehome. Inside of the house, you also have a working gramophone with about an hour of music made by a talented mod creator named Vinsvept, and you can even skip tracks on this gramophone too. Also, you have displays and storages with displays for unique items and storage for books, bookshelves, and others, as well as quest items, scrolls, unique items, armors, and weapons. You also have custom designed furniture, gardens with planters outside, and each room has a unique design and layout now, starting from the amazing kitchen to the magic tower. And most of you guys know that Breezehome is definitely my favorite player home because of its simplicity. And even in the vanilla game, I never really buy any other house other than Breezehome, which gives me all the more the reason to upgrade Breezehome into Raven's Breezehome so I can have the best type of home possible, as well as the best looking. And as you can see, this house looks phenomenal. There's no wasted space at all. You're going to have everything that you're going to need in a player home all within one simple area, and the amount of things that you can put on display as well as interact with within the house just truly blows me away whenever it comes to player home mods. And that's definitely why Raven's Breezehome comes in at our number 3 spot this week, so I'd strongly recommend downloading and becoming its new owner in your next playthrough of Skyrim. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have a brand new all-in-one mod that features all of Drunkzealot's weapons all into one simple package here. This is Drunkzealot's weapons all-in-one. And the mod page reads that this is an all-in-one of Drunkzealot's somewhat historically accurate weapons, as well as the practical fantasy weapons mods, which were actually inspired by their real-world counterparts. And then moving on to the actual swords that you have within this mod, you have the Ulfberth sword, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, the Kinjal dagger, the longsword, the Viking war axe, Viking shields, tons of Viking shields actually, there's a ton of different unique designs. You have the Viking two-handed axe, the bastard sword, the Type XV sword, as well as the Zweilhander. You can use the forge to get these in iron and steel smithing, but there's actually one more weapon included in here under the ebony category, and that's known as the Irla dagger, or literally evil blood in Old Norse tongue. And you can forge this dagger if you find the regents and possess the ebony smithing ability and infuse enough hatred and rage into the blade. This is because this is a blade for the wicked, and in order to forge it you must lure a Daedric spirit inside, and to do so you'll have to gather a human heart to tempt a bloodthirsty entity, and once it has accepted your offering you shall trap it in a soul gem to imprison it in ebony and steel so that it can serve you. Irla feeds on blood and pain, so if you quench its thirst with enough rage, it may just reward you. Now obviously this means it's a very powerful dagger, probably as good as one of the best ones in the original game, so it's definitely a lot of fun to mess around with. This dagger was made to fit in with the Dark Brotherhood storyline, but it can fit with any load order that you could think of and pretty much fit in there perfectly because this is only 13.29 megabytes and it adds tons of different shields and weapons into the game that you can use in your next playthrough to either completely intimidate your enemies, expand your arsenal for the weapons that you use in combat, or if you just want to display a bunch of new unique items in your home. So if you're looking to expand your arsenal, I'd strongly recommend downloading the Drunkzealot's weapons all-in-one mod and adding it to your next playthrough of Skyrim. Coming in at the number 1 spot this week, we have a new mod that adds tons of new secret areas, new dungeons, new bosses, new treasures, tons of new stuff, all to the underground of Skyrim, which is where it gets its name. This is Skyrim Underground All-in-One. And the mod page reads that this is an underground dungeon system with currently 43 large and 26 small cells. There's no vanilla creatures used because all enemies except humans are completely new, and based on the creature packs and creepy zombies, as well as Mihail's monsters and animals too. So you'll be meeting tons of different unique bosses and enemies to fight throughout these dungeons, and just have new dungeons to go through all together as well. On top of that, you have new ingredients from the enemies, fully voiced quests, fully voiced monster merchants, new weapons and armor as well as treasure, destructible objects in the dungeons to access new areas, which you'll see a couple times. I'll be able to cast spells or use my sword on a wooden plank and it'll open up a brand new area for me, so that's pretty cool. There's so much that went into this mod that it would be almost impossible for me to showcase every single dungeon all in one simple mod here, because there's so many of these. Like I said, there's 43 absolutely massive dungeons and about 25, 26 or so of the smaller ones, which you can find brand new treasures in, fight tons of new boss enemies, and just get completely lost in. This is definitely for endgame characters, I feel, because once you enter these types of dungeons, you don't even know where you're going to be, because you'll be completely underground. You can end up in Morthal, and then you could travel underground even more, and then go down by Riften and end up over there at the end. And there's so many different access points as well. You can actually read from the Nexus where a bunch of different access points are to get to these dungeons, but a couple that I've showcased in this video, there's one in Jarl Balgruuf's bedroom. You can get one from there. Then in the servants' quarters right below the staircase from Balgruuf's bedroom, there's another one there. I also think there's another entrance inside of the Dragon's Reach dungeon, so just 3 entrances already, and we haven't even left Whiterun. So you're going to have a ton of fun in here, because every single area you travel to, there's a chance that there's going to be a hidden underground passage that'll take you deep into the depths of Skyrim to fight brand new enemies and find brand new treasure as well. I'm just super happy that this mod was finally ported over to console here, because there's so much fun to be had here, especially with fighting the brand new animals such as the enemy bats that have been added. You have minotaurs, the automatrons, undead pack, and so much more. So if you're ready for a challenge and you're ready to dive into a brand new dungeon and fight tons of new enemies and find brand new treasure, then the Skyrim Underground all-in-one mod is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out. So go download and experience a brand new type of challenge in your next playthrough of Skyrim. So that's pretty much it for this week's episode of the top 5 Skyrim mods of the week. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out a lot. And if you have any suggestions for mods you'd like me to cover in future top 5 mod episodes, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, or you can join our Discord. I'll be sure to leave the Discord link in the description as well as the pinned comment, so you can join us on there and leave mod suggestions there as well. Special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys later.